Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shanna Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology and instructional coach for my district.
And I'm her producer and husband, Fuzz Martin. And each week I help her make the show ready for airplay. Hey, Shanna, now that you're done just doing PD and all the kids are back in the hallways, when you walk through, are you like, move, kids, get out the way? I needed a pun for Ludia, so I went with one.
To go like ludicrous?
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
It was a stretch, but that's all I had.
It's okay. Now we need some like bass going though, I feel like, for the intro.
Move, kids, get out the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
We're back.
Kind of. They'll get better over the season, folks.
It's season 7.
7th season.
That's crazy.
It is.
Episode 189.
189.
Which is also crazy and also super fun. We had a little summer like chat earlier with episode 188, but it's been a while.
It has.
It's been a while. Oh man, we have all the songs today. We started singing things.
We do this thing with our PR team. With any time that we sing a song like this in our PR meetings, we add it to a playlist in Spotify.
Well, that's
fun.
It's
a very interesting playlist.
That would be a very fun playlist to listen to.
Yeah.
So it's summer's over. We're back in school. We're back in action. I've done all the professional development for the summer and ran a bunch of things. And so with that, actually, it inspired my first tool for the season because we are doing a very huge focus in my district on universal design for learning, so UDL. And we were doing all sorts of choice sessions for our staff. And I was presenting some tech tools for our staff. And I shared Ludia, which is a UDL, so Universal Design for Learning based tech tool.
Okay.
That is a piece of AI, and I'll kind of explain how it works and everything. But it's very cool, and it was a hit with the staff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start the season with something that I already have a bunch of people excited about. So we're going to talk some more about it. We also decided, you and I decided, that for season 7, the setup of my podcast is the same, but a little different.
Yes.
So at the start of each chat, I'll kind of give my top 5 reasons why I really like the tool.
Yes.
And then I'll go into the explanations with it.
Yeah, 5 reasons why you might like this tool as well as an educator.
Yes. So top 5 reasons, and then we'll talk specifics.
All right, Shanna. So what are the top 5 reasons why you like Ludia for UDL teaching?
All right. Mind you, this is an AI chatbot, just so everyone knows. And I'll explain the website stuff in a little bit. But 4 top 5 things why I like Ludia. Go. Number 1, it's supported by Katie Novak, who's the UDL trainer guru, does all of the things for Novak Education. And she supports the tool and finds all of the fabulous uses for it. So to me, like, that's very important because she backs this tool.
Gives it some credibility.
Piece of AI. Yeah. 2, it's really, really easy to use. You just like write all the information and it does all the work for you, which,
great.
It's time saver.
Yeah.
3, it aligns with the UDL guidelines. So it is very specific. Like if you're talking about engagement and talking about barriers and you're talking about, so it uses the language of UDL guidelines, which is really important because it is aligned with it. So it all makes sense. 4, it shares barriers and how to break them down. So a big piece of UDL is talking about students' barriers. So if they're struggling with something or just these roadblocks that you run into all the time in your classroom, and it tells you, here's going to be a barrier. Like it tells you the barrier and then it says, and these are all the ways around it.
Sure.
So like it tells you like, this is going to happen and like, this is how you're going to fix it. And this tool tells you that.
Yep.
Which is great. It helps you like pre-think as a teacher.
Yeah.
So cool. And 5, it doesn't just stop at one suggestion. So if it gives you some ideas and you say, hey, but I need more reflection pieces. And it goes, here, you can use using this. Do you want more information? And it gives you question prompts at the bottom to then give you the next steps or other questions to ask and gives you even more relevant information.
Perfect.
There's my top 5 things.
Okay.
Now I'm actually going to talk about
Now let's talk about
Ludia.
How you got there. Yes.
How
Ludia.
I got there.
Ludia. Ludia.
Yes. So that's something that you need to, when you pull up the site,
Hmm.
it's actually poe.com/Ludia.
Okay.
So Poe is the AI chatbot.
How do you spell Poe?
It's POE,
Okay. Like Edgar
like
Allan.
Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah. .com/Ludia, Ludia. By the way, that's UDL and AI
Oh, okay.
in a word together.
Yeah.
Woo!
Whoa.
Yeah. So what's cool about this is there was 2 creators that put this together.
So it was designed by Beth Stark and Jeremy Rostan, I believe it's pronounced.
I believe so. And so they were the creators. So the Poe.com like platform lets you create different AI tools. So these 2 designed this specifically
Mhm.
to be able to teach, like to support teachers with UDL, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
So basically, it gives you the little prompt like, "Hi, I'm Ludia. I'm your AI powered UDL partner. Yay, how can I help you today?" Like a good old AI chatbot does. And what's cool about this is when you type in the information. So I'm going to give you an example.
Mhm.
I typed in, and you can be really specific, but you don't have to be crazy specific. So I said, I want geology, like a geology lesson was UDL based with properties of minerals, 9th grade with Lexiles of 450 to 900. So this was actually a prompt that one of my staff members gave me in our PD that I was running. I'm like, somebody just throw this out to me. Let's see what it does. And it starts you with potential barriers and UDL checkpoints. So already it's going to tell you, it references the UDL guidelines. So here's your barrier: limited engagement with textual materials. So we already know kids probably might struggle with the text. Here's your solution: provide a variety of texts at different lexiles about minerals. And it gives you examples like infographics, videos, find that explain mineral properties. And it goes into specific details like what to look for when you're prepping this lesson. Another barrier: kids may not have prior knowledge. Okay, so what can we do to know what our kids already know? It gives you like KWL charts and different group responses and existing understanding, things like that. And then gives you another barrier. So there might be limited opportunities for expression. That would be students sharing their work. So then it gives you ideas like creating digital presentations, hands-on models, doing reports, flexibility and accommodate. So it gives you all these things. Okay, so then I want to know, how can I assess kids' understanding? Then it gives me more information about assessment strategies and what assessments could look like. And then I asked, can you provide examples for guiding questions for self-assessment? Yes, I can. And then it gives you, literally like sets up the questions for me, like what key properties of minerals, other minerals I research, and how well do I understand them? Like there's your kid's reflection prompt, and then they explain it. And what's really cool is this tool just keeps prompting you like, I want more things on engagement. Cool. Here's 5 different ways to set up engagement. And then I said, can you create a graphic organizer to support and enhance the discussion? Yes. Here's a self-assessment reflective organizer. It doesn't physically make the organizer, but it gives you the questions to prompt to set up your organizer, gives you the section breakdown between like project execution, skills developed, and then it gives kids adaptations for feedback. So it just keeps on going. And then at the very bottom, after giving me all this information to set up a lesson for my kids, it goes, how can I effectively introduce this organizer for my students? Do I want to know that more? Click on that. It'll give me more information. I can ask, what strategies can I use to encourage peer sharing? It will give me a whole nother setup. Can I assess students' reflections using this organizer? Here's a whole nother setup. So it just keeps leading and building on the UDL guidelines, a specific content area, or you can put in your specific standards or targets you want students to learn as well. And it's super cool
Yeah.
because it follows everything that you need it to set up like a guided UDL lesson.
Sure. And it's all right there and quickly, right?
Very quick. So like I'll throw in a new chat just for the fun of it while we are chatting. I'm going to put in 4th grade ELA comparison writing example, say 3 different reading levels,
Okay.
and it will produce. I click the little arrow. It'll also have an audio button there, so you can actually click the microphone and just or talk at it, and
Sure,
it will write
yeah.
it for you too. Great. In line with UDL, here we go. Engagement with text gives you, it's UDL 2.2 with checkpoint 2.1. Students may find it difficult to engage with texts. Here's your barriers. Here's your solution. Provide texts that are culturally relevant and high interest. Like it already like sets you up. Here's your barriers. And then which solutions you want to go with. And I'll just circle back with you on observations and results if you want it. So again, it just continues to like build your lessons and help support the information that you need.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And then once you have it all set up, you can click the little copy and share link and share it out. Yay, copied. So I can send that to myself in an email or send it to my team. So if you're planning together, you can be like, hey, all right, we've got different groups of kids, but we're all teaching the same thing. These are some barriers we might run into when we're planning. Let's talk about how we can make this happen in our classrooms.
Very cool.
And it's like done.
So is there any limit to this with Ludia?
I have not run into any limits yet.
Okay.
How's that? So I
There you
just
go.
keep going and planning and going. And on the left-hand side of the screen, it keeps my chats. So
Okay.
like I can go back to my geology lesson. I have typed in interactive ideas. I've done lessons on textual evidence. I did one on mapping skills. So it keeps my chats in the left-hand side of my screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep collecting them so I can go back to my resources as needed. And
You
then
just log in with your
Google.
email address?
Yep, I just use my Google email address.
Okay.
And then I can share it out, my chat or with Ludia as needed.
Okay.
So it's all run through POE,
Mhm.
POE, because then they also have like create a chat bot. Actually, you have an option to like make your own. So that'll be a whole nother day of creating chat bots. But this is all fabulous and it's UDL aligned and it's been out for about a year now. So what I appreciate is a lot of the bugs have kind of been worked out and it's pretty accurate with what you're looking for when it's aligning with UDL guidelines and things like that. And it's super cool and super useful.
Yeah.
And you can just take bits and pieces of it because a lot of things like we've been teaching for a long time, or even if you're new and you've got some background, this just helps you plan and set up and strategically think about how you're setting up your stuff.
Mhm.
So it's pretty fantastic. And my staff was very excited to like play around with this one and test this one out.
Yeah. Free, no paywalls. There you go.
Yeah. Ludia,
Wonderful.
UDL and AI together.
Yes. Great job.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I'm really excited to continue using it throughout the year, not just kind of play around with it here and there, but like make sure that my lessons are
This
set
is
up.
going into your everyday workflow.
It's going to go into my everyday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a few tools that I use all of the time, and this will definitely be one of them, especially with just making sure my structures are there. Like I can't always think of every barrier that I come across. So I think that that will be very helpful for my students. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty excited. Excited to kick off season 7 with this one.
Yeah, me too.
Yay. Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter
X.
or at SmartenWI, or on Threads, or on Facebook, or on SmartenWI.com, or on Instagram. Like we are everywhere at this point. Yeah. If you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit SmartenWI.com. If you like this, support the show, please consider buying me a coffee or two. Visit buymeacoffee.com/SmartenWI or visit SmartenWI.com and click on that cute little purple coffee cup. Your donations help keep the show going. So nice to be back here and chatting with all of you. Mm-hmm. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the Smart NWI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we hope they do. That's why we do this show. And we'll talk to you next time right here on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.